Welcome to a new episode of the Heat Check. I'm Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. This week, I have a familiar face for longtime listeners of the Heat Check, Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press, who joins us from some type of space shuttle, apparently.
I'm on the space shuttle right now. Yes, I'm on the space shuttle. It's the only place in the world where I don't have to deal with an NBA mess right now. So I am. This is not anything fake or whatever. This is a conference room at the Olympic Park in Park City, Utah. A first
Very
for the
cool.
Heat, I believe.
Yeah, I think that is a first. Good job. Tim Reynolds, as most of you know, covers just about everything in this market. Covers the Heat, covers the NBA, covers Inter Miami, covers the Miami Hurricanes. Am I missing anything, Tim?
Did you say the Heat?
The Heat, yeah, the Heat, yeah, that one too.
Panthers,
the Panthers, that's right, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Tim has a new book that is out, which we will get to later in the episode. So please stay tuned for that. But Tim, I think we got to start with what the heck is going on with the Miami Heat. They look it is not what we expected entering the season. I don't think. I know there was talk of an up-tempo offense. They're 3-1. They are averaging the most points in the NBA. They're playing at the fastest pace in the NBA. They have a win over the Knicks. They have a win over the Grizzlies by a ton of points. What do you make of what's going on right now with the Heat?
Well, it's very simple. The U is back.
The Heat is back?
Are we recording? Is this real? Are we doing this?
We are recording.
I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if the Heat know what to make of it. They recognize that obviously scoring was needed. You have to give Erik Spoelstra, the mad scientist that he is, all the credit in the world right now for saying, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And the commitment throughout training camp was getting the ball basically out of the basket and into the opposite front court within 6 or 7 seconds. Like, they're go, 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 go. And you have, when your primary rebounder is a guy like Bam Adebayo who can handle the ball. Nico can handle the ball. Jaime Jaquez, who has been phenomenal these first 4 games, is handling the ball. They're scoring 1 million points without their best scorer.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero is still a couple weeks away at minimum. Maybe even a bit longer than that. Norman Powell missed a game, and the Heat still scored 1 billion points. I don't know how to explain it. Defenses are going to catch up at some point, but it's such a big gap right now that you have to think that the Heat have found, okay, this is the way for this team to be successful. And I mean, we both look, I know you and I talked often about how the first 10 games, especially without Tyler, could be not good. Well, they're 3-1. I mean, there's still a long way to go. There's the trip coming up. You know, that Wembanyama fellow was waiting for them in San Antonio. Like, obviously, it's not, as Erik Spoelstra will say, nothing is guaranteed. I didn't expect them to shoot the 3 this well. I had no idea they were going to score like this. I cannot believe Erik Spoelstra is playing this fast. And, yeah, shows what we know.
Let me just put things into perspective here. Like, this offense has been a bottom 10 offense for the last 3 seasons. They've been a bottom 5 pace team for the last 6 seasons. They've never been a top 15 pace team under Erik Spoelstra since he became head coach. And probably, I don't even know if they've been a top 15 pace team ever. Probably under Pat, I'm assuming they weren't. I don't know. I haven't looked that up. But
there's no chance.
This is different than any Heat team we've ever seen. So again, it's been 4 games, but so far, the style they're trying to play is different than any Heat team we've seen. And it's not just the pace, they're barely running any pick and rolls. They're barely running dribble handoffs. All that stuff that Bam has done for the last few seasons, that's out the window. It's basically 4-5 out, one guy has the ball up top, beat your guy off the dribble, collapse the defense, drive and kick offense, right? And you need guys who could beat their defender off the dribble and make the right decisions. And it takes a lot of basketball IQ to get this done. I mean, it's off-ball movement, it's passing, it's knowing when to take the shot, when not to take the shot, knowing when to push. not to commit too many turnovers, right? I think against Charlotte, they only commit 11 turnovers while playing so fast, which is impressive. And then on top of that, I believe their defense is the fourth best defensive rating in the NBA. So it's all about the offense, but the defense has been great too. That's a big reason they're running so much. So it's just been really impressive all around. And kudos to, again, Eric Spoelstra for, I mean, we know he's flexible, right? We know he's one that he's not afraid. He doesn't have the ego to adapt. I mean, come on. He's changed styles over the years.
Oh, flexible?
I mean, we've seen it. He's innovative.
Maybe. I wouldn't say flexible. Maybe pliable, but not flexible. This is straight up flexible.
This is this is unbelievable, this shift. And kudos to the players for buying in and for executing it, right? I mean, this is a different style than all of them have. Most of them that have been here for a while have played for their entire careers. Bam has never played this way.
Tell guys, okay, no, the Heat always stress the world-class conditioning. That's not new. That's Pat Riley, 31 years of it. But when you tell guys, okay, we need you to get in even better shape, but here's why.
Yeah.
We're going to score 1 million points. Okay, that's a fair trade-off. Like, guys are going to buy into that. This is a fun style. You had a great observation. I think it was on Twitter. I don't follow you on Twitter. I don't really read you. I barely know who you are.
Well, I blocked you, so.
You've come so far. 5 years ago, you wouldn't give it back to me like this. This is so impressive. I love it. You had the great observation of how, especially early in the season, you see a ton of advanced scouts at games just to try to get at what everybody's doing, what everybody's running. They don't have a clue what they're running because they're not running anything. So when I saw that, and I wasn't on the road, obviously, when I was in Orlando, but I saw that and talked to a couple scouts that I go to, and both of them said the exact same thing to me. We were going to call you to ask what the hell's going on. We'll figure it out. And it's not, this is not something the world's never seen before. I'll say one other point, though. You talk about the flexibility and the willingness to adapt and grow within Spo. Eric Spoelstra is watching an awful lot of international basketball right now for obvious reasons. He's going to coach the team at the 27 World Cup, 28 Olympics, and has been part of USAB now for a while. It's not exactly reminiscent of one nation, the way they do things, but you see the way Serbia passes the ball.
Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah.
You see Germany's spacing. Like, Spo has and this is what coaching is. Coaching is thievery. You steal the best from everybody else, and he's just not using the other 29 teams. Like Cleveland started, what did they start last year? 15-0? And like the slide cut was like the rage of everything. Like all this, almost like, what's the term they would use? Like empty screen, stuff like that. And then by the end of the year, like everybody was doing it.
Right.
Like Spo's not taking from one team. Spo's taking from the 29 teams in the NBA and then about 10 or 12 international teams. Okay, this might work, this might work, this might work, this might work. And he's always said, like, guys like Bam are 5-tool, Swiss Army knife type guys. Well, that has meant that he's known for a while that these guys can do a little of everything, and that's now what they're tasked with. You have to do a little bit of everything in this system that he's laid out, and so far it's been great.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think eventually teams will make adjustments, right? That's the way it is. I mean, talk about another sport, Mike McDaniel, right? When he started that motion with Tyreek Hill, then all other teams started doing it, and then teams started playing two safeties up high, and they couldn't throw the ball deep. So it's just teams adjust, right? And you have to adjust to them. So it's going to happen. But yeah, to your point, like I was sitting next to scouts in Memphis, and both of them were like, they're not calling plays. Like, what are they? I'm trying to chart what they're doing, and it's like they were like, it's like a football. Yeah.
Let's explain to people like what the advanced scout does. Like they literally either have like a laptop or a sheet of paper, and they're just stealing play calls is all they're doing, and then they send that information back to their teams, and then the teams match it with the timestamp of the film of the game, and say, okay, this is X high, this is for whatever, this is low control, this is all whatever they're calling. They match up the team's individual language to what they're seeing on film. So it's just a way of learning. It's basically in the NFL, it's stealing signs, except in the NBA, it's totally allowed just because everybody does it. That's what they're doing, and they can't figure out the language that Eric Spoelstra is using because it's like sign language. Like it doesn't really. there's no rhyme or reason to the lot of
No.
stuff they do, and it's working. And by the way, it's by design. It's not playground basketball. It's not go to the rim and I'll throw it to you. Like there's very much a madness, but a method to it. Yeah. It's not haphazard play. It's fascinating.
It is. What's your prediction for this trip before we move on here? This is they play San Antonio. Obviously, San Antonio's undefeated right now, 4-0. They play a shorthanded Lakers team, likely missing Luka and LeBron, right? Mm-hmm. And they play the Clippers on a second night of back-to-back, and they close a trip in Denver. That's always a tough game for the Heat at the end of a trip, Denver, Nikola Jokic.
And it always happens.
And it always happens at the end of a trip.
Or the end of a trip, always.
Yeah. And sometimes it's both, right? End of a trip on a second night of back-to-back.
So 2-2 would be a great trip.
For sure, I agree.
San Antonio right now is playing as well as anybody. Wemby is Wemby's such a smart kid, and it's hard to say kid anymore. He is in year 3. He's been a pro now for a while. But he said something, I think, after their opening night, and he had hinted at it, but he hadn't really said it this way until opening night, where he was like, I'm done taking it for granted. Like, when you get told you have a blood clot in your shoulder, the deep vein thrombosis is what shut him down last February. He knows what happened to Chris Bosh. He knows what's happened to a lot of people in sports over the years. You don't always come back from it. His was not, he is not genetically prone to them, so obviously he's been allowed to resume. And the technology, even the medication, has gotten a lot better just in the 10 years since Chris. So a lot has changed, but Wemby's like, okay, I know what this feels like now when the game gets taken away from me. I'm not waiting to be great. I'm going to be great now. And he's been the best player in the world the first week of the season. And in a week where there's been some absurd, wonderful performances, all overshadowed by a little something that I imagine we'll probably get to.
What's that? I'm not sure. Your book?
I don't know. Oh, Chauncey.
Just
okay. The Chauncey story alone. It's huge. The Lakers shorthanded. If you can steal, 1 and 3 is probably the way it's supposed to go. But right now, I don't just the way this team is. And again, sample size games, I could see 2-2.
And it's good they've afforded themselves a cushion here, right? I mean, they could go 1 and 3, and it's not a great trip, but you come back at that point, 4-4? I mean, if you would have told me 4-4 after the first 8 games 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, that's great. You take that, right? This is, with a West Coast trip, these tough teams are playing, 4-4 would have been great. So, I think 2-2 is a good trip. They come back 5-3 after this tough 8-game stretch to start the season. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's not easy to win on the road, go on the West Coast. But there is, Lakers is winnable, right, without their 2 best players. So we'll see. So we talk about Terry Rozier here before we move on here. Terry Rozier, a little bit of a development today. News broken by you, Tim Reynolds. While Terry Rozier is on leave from the Heat during this investigation, the determination has been made that he would not be paid his salary. That money will instead be held in an account until this plays out. Does not mean that this gives the Heat salary cap relief as of now. He's still on the Heat's books. They still have to pay the money, right? It just doesn't go to Terry. So it's kind of where do you feel like things stand, and where do you think this is heading?
Well, and as we started taping this, I mean, by the time people see it, they will know the union has said that they understand the need to protect the integrity of everything, but they're not happy about this decision, which was made by the NBA. Let's be real clear. This was not the Heat saying we're not going to pay him. It was, made in, at the NBA's direction. The union will grieve, which is their right. I don't know where it will go. It's kind of like the game within the game right now. Not paying Terry hurts Terry. It doesn't really do, like you said, this is not cap relief for the Heat. The money still has to go into an interest-bearing account, if I'm reading the CBA correctly. And then when this process is done, which is going to be months unless something really surprising to all of us happens, then they'll figure out what to do with the money. But yeah, it's not a totally unexpected thing, but there's a lot of unprecedented within this, in that, like, the word indictment does not appear in the CBA. There's no playbook for this. So I think everybody is being very cautious, except Barry on the old Twitter machine. Barry's not. That's why we love Barry so much.
It's Twitter.
When we do, just so everybody knows, we love Barry. It's a, he will have a chance to, if found that he did not break any laws and is cleared to return to the NBA, he'll get, I assume, all of the money
back.
He's owed. Yeah. The situation is slightly different with Chauncey Billups. Like, there is a coaches association, but it doesn't fall under the CBA the same way a player would, obviously. And I think the time that Chauncey misses, he will not be paid for that time. That I think that's probably some sort of an absolute. And Chauncey could probably choose to file suit on his own if he wants to do so, but I don't think that's going to be a totally separate deal than the Terry thing.
I think obviously there's bigger things in this story than this, but from a Heat perspective, it's not a good sign for them. I don't think today's news, because this doesn't change anything for them. They're not really getting anything out of this, and it seems like this would indicate, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, that the league is very hesitant, is likely leaning against suspending Terry, which would afford the Heat some salary cap relief. Like, if they're going in this direction where they're just going to hold it in an account, an interest-bearing account, it seems like that's what they've chosen as far as right now, the solution, the temporary solution until this is all resolved, as opposed to, we have new evidence from this indictment and we're going to suspend, or I don't think they'll go this far, or ban Terry from the league like they did Jontay Porter, right? And that would have afforded the Heat salary cap relief, would have opened if they would have banned him, they would have opened up a roster spot. This solution really doesn't change much for them, as far as the books and all that stuff.
Oh, it changes nothing as far as the books. I agree with everything you said. I'm just not at the point yet where I'm going to draw a conclusion about what the NBA will or won't do. I can say with certainty, yes. I mean, they knew on March 23rd, 2023, that there were betting abnormalities that day regarding the props that were set by the books for Terry's performance that night. They knew right away. Everybody knows now the league went through its investigation. Adam said publicly, talking on Prime last week, on Amazon Prime, on their first broadcast. Do we call it a broadcast if it's streaming? You know what I mean, though. On their first airing of a game.
Yeah, there you go.
Airing's probably even worse than broadcast. But anyway, you get the point. That the league went through its investigation, that they brought Terry in for an interview, that Terry was cooperative. All those things matter with the league. And they just couldn't find that he intentionally broke rules. And I say intentionally. I can't even say for certain if they found that he accidentally broke rules.
Right.
If they had found that he had been, I mean, tipping is banned by the NBA. Players know this. There are huge penalties for that. Ask Jontay Porter. He understands what the penalties are. So I don't think the league, I mean, we know the league doesn't have subpoena power. The federal government does. I don't think the league had any idea what was coming until shortly before, like very shortly before the rest of the world knew. A week ago, last Thursday. I don't think anybody really understood at the league level where this was going and what the federal government is alleging that Terry did. So it's all very new. That's why I get the point you're making. And I think everything you said is certainly possible, probably even likely. But I'm still of the school of let's just let it evolve and see what's what.
And that's fair. This is, like you said, this is unprecedented. You talk to all parties involved and they're like, we're still trying to figure things out, trying to catch up, this is not something we can go back to say, okay, this happened in 1998 and this is what we did in this situation. Like, this is something that has not really happened before. From my understanding, and this could be concluded by everything we've kind of talked about already, but nothing is imminent as far as some salary cap relief for the Heat. Like, yes, that's possible still, but as of right now, nothing is imminent. This is going to take a while, I think. This is going to take a minute. So that's pretty much the update here as we move forward. Should we move on to something lighter, Tim?
One other thing real quick, though, about this point. Remember, so we've all said, and rightly, that there is no precedent for this. Part of the reason why I am guessing, and this is strictly me guessing, nobody has told me this from any side of this story. Precedent will be set by this.
Correct.
And that's why I think there's going to be extreme caution about saying, okay, it's reasonable to expect that Terry Rozier will not play this season, so therefore Miami gets cap relief. And it's possible that details about a federal investigation that may or may not have been going, again, he said, she said, whatever, then therefore the Miami Heat get their draft pick back. Like, the precedent will, this is not the last time in this era that we're in where betting happens and is legal, and you could say even encouraged by a lot of entities out there. This is not going to be the last time this happens. And I think the league knows that, and that's why they're going to be super, super cautious, which does not make Heat fans happy, nor should it, or the Heat or anybody. I get the frustration about give them their draft pick back, give them this, give them that. There are 29 other teams that are going to be affected by this decision. The Heat are going to be affected by it right now, or when that pick conveys in 27 or 28. It's bigger than that. So just remember that. To be fair to the NBA, remember that perspective.
And also, it's been 1 week, right? It's been a week. It feels like an eternity, but it's been 1 week. Not much time has passed. And I think another thing that could change here, we'll see, is this whole conversation of should the Heat have been told that there was a league investigation on Terry. There's nothing in the CBA that says teams, or even the league, I don't even think the league can, but teams have to disclose that in trade call. It's usually medical, injury history, all that type of stuff. Now, if there is a league investigation to a player for sports gambling, does that become part of trade talks? Like, oh, by the way, this person, even if they're cleared, I mean, it's a question that they'll have to look at and see if that they need to change that.
I think it's going to be incumbent on the teams
to ask,
to do the digging.
Okay.
I really think I can understand why if Charlotte is selling Miami a car, by the way, the check oil light's going to come on every 30 miles.
Yeah.
No, this isn't that. I'm not being flippant. But there's a reason why caveat emptor is a thing. Like, you're going to see teams really do their own homework now at probably unprecedented levels. And that's going to slow down the trade processes in a lot of ways. So you can't be too certain anymore. That's where we are.
Yep. All right, Tim, you have a book.
I have a book.
Come out. The Miami Heat, an illustrated timeline.
Illustrated timeline.
Tell us about it. Tell us kind of what the work that went into it, how people can get it.
It's fun. The Miami Herald has called it the greatest book of modern times. I made that up. It was fun. This company in St. Louis contacted me about a year ago and said, we do these timeline books. Gary Washburn just had done one with the Boston Celtics. It was the company's first NBA book. And it's basically vignettes. And we just go in order from the start of the franchise till now. And I thought about it for like 5 minutes, honestly. Like, that was it. And it was super fun to do. It was a lot harder than I thought. Like, I've covered the team since 2003. I knew a lot of the story from 88 till 2003. I didn't know all of it. And then you have to go back and re-report everything anyway and put it in a different form than what I'm used to writing in, than what you're used to writing in.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about the early days. It was fun to be reminded about where this franchise, the last 20 years, really, since, the last 23 years since Dwayne got drafted. And then Shaquille comes and they win the title and Big Three and all that, and the ups and downs since. I think Heat fans are going to like it. It's available, readypress.com. We're doing an event at Books and Books, which in about a month, that I would just love if people
Books and Coral Gables.
Books and Coral Gables.
Cool.
We're doing it on the tentative. I shouldn't even say it, but tentatively the last Sunday of November. We're finalizing. Okay. A lot of people have seen it. A lot of people are, the feedback's been pretty good so far, which is nice.
My copy's in the mail.
Your copy's in the mail. The I think people that love the Heat understand the story and the ups and downs, and a lot has happened. Like we did this in about 160 different vignettes. There are 5,000 other things we could have put in this book. Like right. It's such
that's a tough part, right?
It really was. Yeah. And matching it to photos, and not everything's available in a photo and everything else. So it was tough to do that, but it was a lot of fun. I think everyone will probably learn a little something. I know I learned a lot, and I've been around forever. So
I know you got to go, Tim, but real quick, you said you learned a lot, not to give too much away, but what is the most interesting thing maybe you learned just from the process of putting together this book?
That everything's a cycle, and that, we talk about most of this team, there's always been Arison family involvement, going back from Ted Arison helping get, the team, and then Mickey becomes managing general partner in 95, and he brings in Pat right away. And we act like this is like one thing, like it's one solid line. Okay, well, this is the Mickey and Pat era, and Eric was here the whole time, and this. There's ups, there's downs. Everything goes up, everything comes down. Everything goes up, everything comes down. The things that Pat and Mickey have held dear are what matter most to this place. And Mickey said it perfectly in his Hall of Fame speech. The Heat are always going to be a family-run, business. It is the family business. They have that small cruise company too, and all that, of course. But the Heat are. Carnival is their life's work. The Heat are their passion, and you see the passion in it. So it was fun to go back and really learn the ins and outs of how they got the team too, like the early days, like what went on in 85, 86, 87, before anybody was hired, before the Heat were real, before the Heat had a name, before anybody knew that they were going to build the Pink Palace. And then, of course, Kaseya Center and all those things that followed. And really the way David Stern was thinking when he made the decision, or when the league made the decision to bring a team to Miami, just seeing how the roots were planted were kind of fun for me too. There's a lot of really cool photos in it. The memories of it all are fun. Some photos you've seen, some photos you hopefully haven't. It's for a relatively young franchise, for a franchise that's less than 40 years old. It's a reminder that this franchise has done a lot in those 40 years. And I think maybe a Heat fan that picks it up will be reminded of, oh yeah, this is why we're a Heat fan. That's what they'll say. I hope is that it's a reminder that Heat fans have had it pretty good for the most part.
If the Heat go on to lose it's like 6 games in a row at some point this season, pick up this book and remind yourself of everything this team has accomplished over the years and how successful they've been, and all the great moments they've created.
But they're not going to lose 6 in a row. They're going 81-1. It's 80,
they might.
80,
Well, they keep scoring 145 points a game. Maybe they will.
And to do it without sacrificing the defense, like Eric Spoelstra's a crazy person. He's an absolute crazy person.
Right, it's crazy.
He'll never be coach.
He might actually win coach of the year this year. This might be the year.
He's voted as best coach every year by the GMs, but he's never going to win coach of the year.
This might be the year if this keeps up.
Right now we've got Jaime's most improved and 6-man. Spo's coach of the year. The Norman Powell trade has to give the Heat inside track on GM of the year.
Bam Adebayo, defensive player of the year for their top 5 defense. I know Wemby's out there, so it doesn't. But still,
but Wemby's the like the space shuttle that I'm on. Wemby, and we're going to Wemby's house. This is what we're doing. Right now they're a lock to win all of the awards up to and including Motor Trend Car of the Year. I'm even going to give Kaz hasn't played yet. Kaz year. Just give the Heat every award. Just be done with it.
It's been a week. It's been a good week for the Heat, I guess, in some respects. A tough week in other respects.
It's
It's been a week.
Sadly, I wish we were doing the book now because this week would have made the book.
Oh my god!
I promise you, this week would have made the book.
Well, come check us out at Books and Books. We'll check social media for the date once it's set. But I'm gonna be out there. I'm coming.
You have to be there.
Tim Reynolds will definitely be there, obviously. So come check us out. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun event. Thanks, Tim, for doing this as always. Your time is always greatly appreciated. Follow Tim if you haven't already at by Tim Reynolds on X. Me, I'm at Anthony_Chang on X. And then read our stuff, MiamiHerald.com, Associated Press. We have a lot of great content there for you. Bobsled content, right, Tim?
Stick to the Herald stuff. Stick to the Herald stuff. We'll talk more bobsled come February when I go to the Olympics. But buy a newspaper, people. Please.
Please.
Read Anthony on MiamiHerald.com. Please. So we can get a new hat that he'll wear forward next time.
You're the man. Listen to the man. There you go. Thanks, Tim.
See you, Anthony.